Barry, how did music start for you in your
Oh,
life?
well, it started very early on. I went to a National Orchestra concert and I heard this sound coming through and I thought, what the heck's that? And because I didn't know, and the bloke I was with said to me, you don't know much about music, that's a clarinet. And I said, that'll do me. I'm going to play that. So with that, I went and looked for a teacher, and eventually found Jock McCall, which is John's father, and
This is here in
in
Dunedin.
Dunedin. Yeah,
Yeah.
went into a studio in the Otago, and he finally, well, he was just a little guy, like John, and he first thing said to me, "Why do you want to play the clarinet?" Oh, I said, "Well, I heard it, and I just loved the sound of the thing." And he said, "Can you read music?" I said, "Yes." So I've been playing the piano for a good long time now. "Why do you want to play the clarinet? Stick to your piano." This is grumpy old Jock talking. And I said, "No, I've determined I want to play clarinet." So the next comment was, "Right, meet me in the morning and we'll go to a music shop in Dunedin." It was called McCracken and Walls, and we'll buy a clarinet. So I duly arrived there at the McCracken and Walls. And the first clarinet I got was a Jean Martin. Don't know whether you've heard one of those. It was a
Yes.
French one, I think. It was a pretty good clarinet, and I played it for a good long time.
There wouldn't have been a great deal of choice, though, were there?
No, there was hardly any choice.
Yes.
This was on the shelf.
Yes.
And I played it for a good 3 years, I suppose, until one day he said, "My son John's coming to New Zealand. Would you like him?"
Can we just talk about
Yeah.
his son? Because he's a pretty unusual guy, his son.
Yes,
Yeah.
John.
John McCall.
John McCall, yes. Well, and John said he would bring one back because he was going to Germany, and he would try one out for me. And
We need to just explain that John McCaw
John
was one of the world's great clarinet
yes,
players.
he was. Yes.
Despite his grumpy father,
Yeah, that's right.
John went on to become the principal clarinet in the London Philharmonia Orchestra,
yeah.
and just a legend. And his
Yeah.
recording of the Mozart Concerto and the Nielsen Concerto was just one of the finest of all times.
When he came to New Zealand that time with the clarinet for me, the Wurlitzer clarinet for me, he was asked to play with, I think, the Dunedin Civic Orchestra, some raga music which no one had ever heard of in Dunedin, I don't think, but it was absolutely superb listening to what he did.
Yes.
He was a real magician, wasn't he? With
Total.
yeah,
Total.
And I loved his sound as well. So the sound that first attracted me was from a clarinetist called Frank Gurr.
Yes.
Yeah.
Frank was the
Principal.
clarinet player in the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, that was our first.
An amazing character.
Yeah,
and a lovely man.
And the other fellow who was playing Wurlitzer clarinets was Alan Gold,
his associate principal.
Yes, and we had a got long conversation. He was playing clarinets by Heinrich, whatever it is. What's his name? Anyway, but mine is with.
There was father and son making clarinets.
Father and son. I had the father, and he had the son.
Right.
And the difference really was in the bell, where he had a whole board in the bell of his Wurlitzer, and he reckoned that gave him much, much better. I don't know whether it did or not. I'm not sure about that. So that was my introduction anyway to playing the clarinet, and from there, learning from Jock.
So did Jock ever sort of soften up, or was he always gruff?
He was great with me. He softened up with me.
Yes.
But one night a boy walked into the studio, and he brightly said to Jock, "I've just bought myself a trumpet. I'm going to play the trumpet as well as the clarinet." "Get out," said Jock. Opened the door, slammed it in his face, and said, "You're not coming in here." And that was how he was. You played it, but you didn't do anything else. Because I said to him, "I think I'll do the sax as well." "No, not yet." He wouldn't let me do the sax.
Yes.
And we didn't ever play many tunes. He was thorough with his teaching,
Yes.
all exercises. I've got his book at home, a big close book, which is handed down from, he played it, his son played it, and then I got it next. I should have brought it along. It's a historic book.
Yes, for New Zealand clarinet playing, it's certainly historic, yes.
Yeah. So,
and do you think the lawnmowers come back again, Bill? I'll just move the microphone
sorry,
close. That's all right. So do you think that Jock ever, did he enjoy teaching?
yes, he did.
Yes.
He did.
Yeah.
He loved teaching, and he loved people who practiced.
Yes.
He was good with them. Had a friend of mine, Lynn Knox, who was another good saxophone player.
Yes.
And he practiced. And Jock adored him because he would come prepared for the lesson every time.
Yes.
And Barrie used to come half
Naughty Barrie.
Naughty Barrie, yes. But he when we got that Wurlitzer clarinet that John brought
Yes.
over, he used to leave the room to listen to it from a distance. Now, I don't know what idea of that was, but he must have loved the sound of it, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So, look, the other thing that he used to do was get up from his seat, and he would wander across to the other side of the room and stand in a corner. Now, I don't know why he did that, but he did it. He often did it when I was learning there, and I wondered if he was thinking it reverberated through the corner of the room.
So was the room a large room or a small room?
About this.
Yes, okay. So a fair size, yes.
Yes.
And you say his studio was in the Octagon?
In the Octagon,
Yes.
above the bank there,
Yes.
on the third floor.
On the third floor.
Yeah.
So that must in itself been quite a special thing, going to the sort of prime real estate in Dunedin.
Yes, it
yeah.
might be.
Yes.
Well, I got on so well with Jock in the end, with keeping going for lessons. He would always take me home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would be the last lesson.
Yes.
And he would always take me home. So we became quite friends, really, because I suppose we just got on famously.
Yes.
And I didn't take too much notice of the grumpiness.
Yes. So tell me, do you know, because we're talking about a real bit of New Zealand clarinet history here. Do you know where Jock learned to play? Who taught him? Do you know anything about his background?
I only know that he played in the silent movie days and in the theatre for the theatre orchestra, I think. And as soon as the movies got talking, he was out of a job.
Okay,
but he did play in the early New Zealand Symphony, I think. I'm sure he did play there, but mostly theatre stuff.
And do you remember what sort of clarinets he played on?
Yes, he played on, the first one he played on was a
Boozy and Hawks?
Boozy, Emperor.
Imperial.
Yes.
Yeah, because throughout the Commonwealth, that was the instrument. Yeah.
He had 2 or 3 in his room, and was it Emperor? Was that one of them?
Emperor was one of them. Yes.
He had an Emperor in there, and a Regent.
Right.
A Regent
was the plastic one, and the Emperor was there was another one in between called an Edgeware as well.
Yeah, there was an Edgeware.
Yeah, Edgeware, Emperor, Imperial, and then the 1010, which was a sort of different sort of clarinet beast, if you like. Yes.
But I don't think I think he only had a B flat clarinet.
Okay.
I never ever saw an A clarinet in his room ever.
Yes.
And I can't recall what saxophone he played on. I have no idea.
So he did play saxophone as well.
He did play saxophone.
Yes.
But he wouldn't let me play. I don't know why. He just refused to let me play. So I had to do it secretly.
Now is the time to confess all.
Yes.
So happy memories of learning the clarinet.
Yeah.
And then where did life take you when you finished school?
Life took me through a university and I studied microbiology and worked in the lab for a long time, hospital lab for a long, long time, until I transferred to virus research, which was the next sort of step up, really, into research rather than laboratory working. And that I lasted there for quite a long time under the Medical Research Council. And then it changed hands and became the Health Research Council. Well, at that point, things were getting a bit strange because they wanted only medical research done. We were doing dengue fever, which meant we had to go to Fiji because there was no dengue in New Zealand. And then we went from that to foot and mouth disease. That was the crux of the whole thing. They started to question that. The boss of the department then, because they were refusing to fund him, went off to Canberra. And I don't know, he might still be there. And I ended up thinking, there's no future for young scientists, I'll go and do music. And that's how I started on.
And how did you start?
Well, I went out to a couple of schools and asked if they would like someone to come and teach them clarinet and saxophone. And they all said, yes, we do. So that's how I started. And that would be, it would be 1983 or something, way back there anyway.
Yes.
It's a long time ago. And then I went, from those schools, I went and was at Columba I started at Columba in 1983. Yeah, be about that. And I taught, the number of kids I taught there was list that long.
Yes.
Of clarinet players.
So no regrets leaving
No.
foot and mouth?
The only regret I had leaving the university was morning and afternoon tea time where you have a bit of banter about the rugby or the cricket.
Yes.
Because you're talking only to children.
Yes.
And when you're at high school, that's not so bad. But when you're in primary school, the conversation just is to little children, not to adults.
Yes.
And I missed that bit quite a lot.
Yes.
I have to say. But, you get very used to it, I think.
So have you found over the years of teaching whether children have changed?
They have changed, yes.
How would you describe it, Barrie?
They've changed. Attitude has changed completely. Some of them now are actually practicing diligently. In the early days, I used to get people coming for lessons who did not practice at all. In fact, one of them said to me, do I have to practice? I thought we did it at the lesson. And I'm finding now, the ones that I'm teaching now, out at Monaskill and at Saturday morning music, those children are coming well prepared each day. I think it might be costing. Mums are saying, or dads are saying, you're going to learn this instrument, you learn to play it and it's costing me so much to get lessons for you.
In the early days, it was all free, was it?
It's all free, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
So the children that I've got today really come. Well, no, I can't say that because they don't all come prepared.
No,
they don't all come prepared.
No, come on, Barrie.
No, they don't.
My students don't, so why should yours?
No. In fact, I said to Oscar the other day, you don't seem to have done much practice this week, Oscar. Have you done any? And he said, well, on Wednesday, my mother said to me, I'm not going to ask you again, Oscar, to do some practice. And she didn't ask again, so I didn't.
Well, there's a lesson there, isn't there? Yes. Yeah.
So I thought that was a very good reply, actually.
So Barrie, you've been playing the clarinet for a very long time. Do you still enjoy practicing the clarinet, or do you
love it?
You love it?
Yeah,
What is it about?
I don't know. I
just love the sound.
You just love the sound of the thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Once I was converted to the clarinet, I heard everything, every song or every tune that came out, looking for clarinet.
Yeah, listening for the clarinet.
Yeah.
So it's just the lifelong love of the clarinet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I one day heard a young person called Mark Walton, and that set me away again.
Oh dear, oh dear.
You played on 4ZB, no, 3ZB or something.
Oh, right.
Wait,
right.
must have been a long time ago.
Can't be that long. I'm still a young man.
Still young. But you were the guest artist on something.
Right.
And I had a tape in my, the old fashioned.
Oh no, I don't remember tapes. Don't remember LPs. Don't remember any of that.
And I taped your thing. Your day.
Oh, that's great.
So it was good fun.
Yeah.
And that anything like that boosts me along, always.
That's great.
And I'm about to collapse, I think, into old age.
Yes, and you will just keep playing, won't you? Because it makes you feel good, doesn't it?
It does, and I love playing the bass clarinet now as well.
Yes.
And I play that in the symphonic band.
Oh, that's
but
great.
I'll have to give up soon, I guess.
Oh, I don't think so.
You don't want to.
I think actually you probably need a new clarinet. Barry, thanks so much. That's wonderful.